Hi, this is Jane Mann, and today we're going to be using the lift on a lifting program. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use the lift. Let's go over some of the anatomy. So first off, the lift is a very simple unit. So I want you to take out all the complex thinking and think of it as two probes in one that you can use with one hand, or you can use simultaneously on a face. So you have two sides of a unit. When it's plugged in, you have a negative and a positive. Now, sometimes you may decide to use the unit with the ball bearings, and I just want to refresh your memory. If that's something that you're doing, the look would look like, setting up my ball bearings right now, sorry about that, would just simply be the attachment with the balls. It's the same exact unit, the same exact current, the same exact everything. Just one is attached through balls, one is directly attached. There's no difference, okay? So while you're using the unit, you have an interplay between positive and negative. This is what makes microcurrent work. The positive and the negative are drawn together. You have a hydroxyl, which is a negative, and a hydrogen, which is a positive, and they're drawn together very, very similar to like the magnetic pull that you have on the attachment. So think of, see how this like connects? That's exactly what the positive and negative are doing. They are connecting to one another to create a change in the dynamic of the cell. And this can be through an action potential and a sodium potassium exchange. This can be through a minute muscular contraction that that kind of keys into the body. It needs to make more ATP. So when you're using the unit on a lift program, I really like to hold. How is it different than holding two probes? It's not. It's just that now you have the two probes in one hand. So you can start out kind of coming up slow. I like to crosshatch. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's kind of like, think of a metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of a whole note, right? So I love to hold in different areas, and then I love to crosshatch. So I kind of can grip that sternocleidomastoid and the scalenes. Then I can kind of move it over. And each time I'm kind of targeting everything. And even as I move up, do you see how these two sets can play in? So you've got a negative and a positive, a negative and a positive. So in these, right now, there's a negative and a positive. So we're holding it like this, or we're holding it like this. And there's nothing different than if you had two probes on the side of the face holding it along the jawline. But this unit is so easy to maneuver. I call these the thumbs, and I always love having the thumbs in because I'll hold and then I angle. And why do I do that? Because the way that we set this up is these are electrodes, but it's not one long electrode that amortizes the current. Here we have very specific notches where the current is the strongest, and it's kind of parlayed out between these 10 electrodes. But when we just focus on one, more power comes to just the one set. So as many times I'll just have the 4, and then I angle to the 2, and then I'll angle to the 4, and then I'll angle to the 2, and I love to drag across. And this I just kind of love. Even if it's a lifting program, we're still moving a lot of lymph and loosening that up. You can do the same thing along the cheekbone, kind of holding and then dragging. We're really kind of getting, and you can hold in the center and drag. Hold in the center and drag. And then you can also hit the kind of the pressure points. And now we've got the positive and negative going back and forth along the frontalis, and we can go into the scalp. We can even, just in this thing, look how we're like right at the hairline. And then I can angle down, pulling up, going down in the scalp, and then all the way. This is one of the most versatile tools that you can work with. There's no right or wrong, regardless of what program you're using. So when you're using a lift program, use it very similar how you would use your probes or your gloves lifting the face. I hope this helped. Check out my YouTube channel for more lift tips and tricks using the lift.